Both can't be an underdog, can they? Despite John McCain's claim that he is the underdog in the White House race, Barack Obama says that he's the one now that needs to come from behind. He had this to say at an Atlanta fundraiser last night. He said John McCain calls himself the underdog. I will simply point out, for reasons you might consider apparent, that I am the underdog. I will be the underdog until I'm sworn in. Let's see what today's political panel has to say about this. Geraldine Ferraro is a former vice presidential candidate, of course, and Angela McGlowan is a Fox News political analyst. Patricia Murphy is the editor of CitizenJanePolitics.com, a nonpartisan political website, and she joins us as well. Okay, I guess everybody likes to be the underdog, Geraldine. They're scrambling. I'm hearing the theme song from the cartoon Underdog behind all of this.
It's what's good for fundraising and for getting out the vote and getting volunteers, but actually when you're preparing at the convention to have a little event at a stadium for 78,000 people, you kind of don't think that you're going to be the underdog. It's who's going to be claiming. I actually think John McCain is. I think he's going to have a tougher road to hoe.
It looks and feels like he's the underdog right now. But some are saying, Angela, that this is sort of re-injecting the idea of race into this story because he said for for reasons that may be apparent. Do you think that's what he meant?
Obama will do anything by any means necessary to gain support. I mean, let's talk about hope. Let's talk about change. What about true policy? So being a black man running for president, at first he didn't want that out there. Now he wants it out there, and I think it's a political tactic.
Okay. Patricia Murphy, I want to jump right to another issue of the convention, and that has to do with Hillary Clinton, because a lot of things are being written and said right now about what role she's going to play and whether or not there will be a roll call vote at the convention, which will just sort of bring back to the forefront of everyone's minds just how close this race was. How do you think all this gets worked out behind the scenes?
Well, I think this is going to be sort of the personification or the perfect example of exactly what Democrats are facing right now. With Hillary Clinton's supporters, 18 million very, very strong supporters, they want her to have a role. They want her to have respect at that convention, and they want her certainly to have a role in putting the platform together. But for Obama, you do not want that roll call of states when you have Pennsylvania, when you have Ohio, Michigan, Florida, all of these states that actually went for Hillary Clinton. It's a really difficult, very touchy thing that the Democrats have to get through. Hillary Clinton needs to help them. She needs to be a gracious loser here to kind of preserve her goodwill going forward with the Democrats.
Can I just come in here as to what this means to women? We had a candidate who came this close, and she was so credible. There is nothing greater thrill, and let me tell you from experience, than having your name put in nomination before the convention. It would send a message to the women who were Hillary Clinton supporters that they respect her. Pennsylvania is not a surprise. Ohio is not a surprise. Everybody knows where it is. You do a roll call vote and get it down. Just make sure that the person who's up at the mic doesn't deliver a speech of some sort. But it can be done.
So get it on the record.
Well, it would show respect for Hillary and for the campaign and for the voters that Senator Obama is reaching out for. So I think that there should be a roll call just to show that respect and how important it was to women in this country.
And I think she has every right, since she has 1,600 delegates there. She has every right. But in 1988, they took Reverend Jesse Jackson off the roll call list and gave him a whole night. However, it upstaged to caucus. And I think that there's still a division in the Democrat Party, and I think if she chooses to have her name on there, or the committee chooses to have her name on there, I think it's going to make the party more divided.
You know, the thing about it is she's been a gracious loser. Now it's Senator Obama's turn to be a gracious winner, and he's got to convey that to his people in the audience at that convention.
But I've heard that, behind the scenes, this is a bone of contention. I mean, this is not going well between these two parties, so it's going to be very controversial in terms of how this all works out. Patricia Murphy, thank you. Angela and Geraldine, thank you very much. We will be right back with more. Stay with us.